Hello, everyone. Welcome to Jewel Talk Tuesday. And tonight, I am happy to be here, and I hope everyone had a great Mother's Day and a great start of the week. Today, I will be talking about disappointments. Disappointments can come in three categories, where I'm going to mention three, it may be more. Um, it can be disappointments in people, disappointments in ourselves, and disappointments in expectations. So I want to start off by talking about disappointments and expectations. So we always want to believe in something, trust in something, hope in something, and have faith in something. And that's where our expectations come in at. If you don't have an expectation in something, it's like you're stagnant. If you meet people that have no purpose, don't know what their purpose is, or they don't know, what they supposed to be doing, it's like they just lost. And when you lose your zeal for life or movement because of disappointment, you don't do anything. And we can't allow disappointments to stop us from believing, trusting, and wanting things. And I say, when you do that, believe, trust, and hope in God, because God will fulfill those longings in our hearts. He will give us the desires of our hearts. Sometimes the disappointments may come as a corrector or to help us to think, because sometimes in our immaturity we may want things that we're not ready for, or the disappointments is to keep us from entering into things and places and getting involved with people that we shouldn't. So all disappointments are not bad. They're there to help us and guide us sometimes. And we can't get everything we want all the time. So we have to realize that. And once we realize that, in life there are going to be disappointments, there should be a certain kind of like leniency when the disappointment comes. You'd be like, okay, things happen. Okay, regroup, move on. I know sometimes some disappointments are bigger than others, but whatever you do, keep moving. It's just like surgery. Some surgeries are bigger than others. But when someone goes in for a knee surgery, the doctors tell them you got to keep moving. You got to keep moving, because if you don't, that muscle is going to get stiff and stuck, and you're going to be in worse condition. You came in there because you was hurting because you couldn't walk. You may not end up walking because you didn't move that knee. You didn't continue to walk. So you got to keep that faith muscle, that hope muscle, that expectation muscle moving. Do not let your disappointments blind you from the things that you have accomplished. We all have accomplished things. We all have gotten to a point in life where we have achieved things. We have great things in our lives that we are looking forward to. And if we allow disappointment to come in, it'll make us sick. It'll make us sad. It'll make us resentful, because we're focused on that one thing or those few things that didn't happen, but we refuse to see the things that did happen. You know, a lot of times we want things and we want them now. I'm kind of that type of person, and we all are that type of person when it comes to certain things. We want it now. But we have to know that sometimes we don't get it now. But if we keep moving and keep trusting and keep believing, those things will happen. God specializes in comebacks. So you can't ever be like, I'm not going to ever get it. You have to have an expectation to get it. When you get up every day, have an expectation to see something, to hear something, to receive something. It don't always have to be monetary. It don't always have to be a gift or anything. To receive some knowledge, to learn something, to see somebody you haven't seen in a while. Have an expectation to hear something from God. Every day you should have an expectation along with your hopes and your dreams, because you don't know how that intertwines with what you have to move forward to. I think the greatest people that I know, and I know some amazing people, they have had some big disappointments. And their disappointments were not private disappointments, these were public disappointments. So when you're dealing with disappointments, it's one thing when you have something that no one knows about. You can kind of handle that a little bit better. But when you have disappointments that people know, Your family know, coworkers know, friends know. It hits you a little different, because in your mind when you see them, you like, I wonder what they think or how they're judging me. But a mature person would know, things happen or whatever. It's the immature person be like, I wonder what she thinking or whatever. And we have to stay out of people's minds, because it's hard to do sometimes when you're looking at people and the expression on their face and stuff like that. But everybody has disappointments. The next time you see somebody, walk past somebody, drive by somebody, just look at them and know they have had disappointments in their lives. They're either going through a disappointment or they have overcome disappointments. So don't think that you're the only one that have had disappointments in your life, but still set those goals. Be ambitious. If you got 10 goals, you only make 2, you made 2. Don't allow disappointments to stop you. Then you have those disappointments from people, and sometimes they can be like the greatest hurts that you can have. And I say to that, sometimes we expect a lot out of people. We expect more than they give. And I say be fair. If they're not showing that they're going to be that thing, then you have to allow them to be who they are. Sometimes we will expect somebody to be who they haven't grown into. And then it hurts us because we want them to get there. And we have to allow people to grow as they grow. And it's unfair to them and it's unfair to yourself to make you go through that disappointment and through that pain of being hurt. And sometimes we stay in a disappointment, suffering, I would say, longer than it needs to be, because we keep dwelling on it. Don't dwell on the disappointments like that. Allow it to do what it do, have your little time, but you have to keep going. And don't hold people in a place where you put them because you put them there. They didn't put themselves there, you put them there. And then with ourselves, give ourselves reasonable expectations for ourselves, and, don't overdo ourselves so we won't, hold ourselves if something happens, because we disappoint ourselves when we don't meet our goals, or we procrastinate and be like, I could have did that, but I just didn't feel like doing that or whatever. So be fair to yourself too, because in this thing called life, there will be disappointments. But you continue to go forward. You continue to set your goals. You continue to be honest with yourself and with people, and let them know how you feel. Talk to them, let them know, communicate with them, and be the best that you can be. But never forget that God sees you and He knows what disappoints you. He knows where your heart is, and allow Him to build you and guide you and keep you, so that along your journey to your destiny and to your purpose, that the disappointments will build you to help you with others, and not have you in a place where you don't do anything because you're hurt from something that happened years ago, or something that just won't happen because it's not meant to happen. So as you move forward this week, just look at the things that may have disappointed you and things that you're holding on that has disappointed you, and just reevaluate and see, is it time for you to release those things and to look at those things and say, well, maybe it's time for me to move on, and maybe it's time for me to reevaluate so that I won't miss out on the things that God has for me, because there are so many opportunities. Life goes on. I have done a whole lot of things. I have missed the mark a whole lot of times. But I tell you, God has been mighty good to me. Can't nobody tell it like I can tell it. I'm telling you. And can nobody tell your story like you can tell your story. He has been good to all of us. And we have to realize that He has His hands on us. And He will turn our disappointments into gladness. And you have to believe and trust in that. So get up tomorrow with great expectations, to hear something from somebody, to hear from God, to see somebody, to gain a knowledge, to gain a wisdom about yourself, about life. Have an expectation and believe and trust. and have a great week. And I will see you back here next week on Jewel Talk Tuesday. Have a great week. Bye.